Mr. President, Governors, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends around the world, as Vice President of the Bank and Secretary of the Board of Governors, it's my honor warmly to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the 5th annual meeting of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. The government of the People's Republic of China is the host for our event this year. We are grateful for their generous hospitality and support for our efforts to transform the originally planned meeting to this virtual platform as a result of the global COVID-19 pandemic. We are welcoming you from the bank's new permanent headquarters in Beijing, which has been open since the 1st of June. I'm sorry that you cannot be here today, but we look forward to receiving you here in the new home of your bank as soon as possible. Our first annual meeting took place here in Beijing in 2016, and it's fitting that we return here now in our 5th year to reflect on AIIB's good start and the many challenges ahead of us. Later, we will hear remarks from the President of AIIB and from the Chairman and 2 Vice Chairmen of our Board of Governors. But first, we will hear from the leader who first proposed the creation of this new multilateral institution. It is my great honor to invite the delivery of a keynote address from the President of China, His Excellency, Mr. Xi Jinping.
尊敬的各位理事、各代表团团长、各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，值此亚洲基础设施投资银行第5届理事会年会开幕之际，我谨代表中国政府和中国人民，并以我个人名义，对这次会议的召开表示热烈的祝贺，向参会的各成员代表致以诚挚的问候。2013年年底，我代表中国提议筹建亚洲基础设施投资银行，推动亚洲地区基础设施建设和互联互通，深化区域合作，实现共同发展。2016年1月16日，亚投行正式开业。4年多来，亚投行按照多边开发银行模式和原则运作，坚持国际性、规范性、高标准，实现良好开局。从最初57个创始成员携手起航，发展到今天的来自亚洲、欧洲、非洲、北美洲、南美洲、大洋洲等6大洲的102个成员齐聚一堂。亚投行不断发展壮大，已经为成员提供了近200亿美元的基础设施投资。亚投行朋友圈越来越大，好伙伴越来越多，合作质量越来越高，在国际上展示了专业、高效、廉洁的新型多边开发银行的崭新形象。新冠肺炎疫情爆发以来，亚投行迅速行动，成立了应急基金，支持成员应对疫情和恢复经济，充分体现了亚投行的行动力。全球抗击新冠肺炎疫情的实践表明，人类是休戚与共、风雨同舟的命运共同体。唯有相互支持、团结合作，才是战胜危机的人间正道。解决经济全球化进程中出现的矛盾，各国应该努力形成更加包容的全球治理，更加有效的 多边机制，更加积极的区域合作。亚投行应该成为促进成员共同发展、推动构建人类命运共同体的新平台。我建议，第一，聚焦共同发展，把亚投行打造成推动全球共同发展的新型多边开发银行。和平与发展仍然是我们这个时代的主题。基础设施互联互通是助推各国共同发展的重要物质基础。亚投行应该致力于服务所有成员发展需求，提供更多高质量、低成本、可持续的基础设施投资，既要支持传统基础设施，也要支持新型基础设施，为促进亚洲及其他地区经济社会发展提供新动力。第二，勇于开拓创新，把亚投行打造成与时俱进的新型发展实践平台。谋创新才能谋未来。亚投行本身是国际经济治理体系的新成员，应该顺势而为，应势而变，创新发展理念、业务模式、机构治理，通过灵活多样的发展融资产品，促进互联互通，推动绿色发展，支持技术进步。第三，创造最佳实践，把亚投行打造成高标准的新型国际合作机构。亚投行发展要坚持高标准、高质量，把遵循国际通行标准、尊重普遍发展规律同适应各成员自身发展的实际需要有机结合起来，创造国际发展合作最佳实践。第四，坚持开放包容，把亚投行打造成国际多边合作新典范。要坚持共商共建共享原则，顺应世界经济格局调整演变趋势，同更多发展伙伴开展合作，提供区域和全球公共的产品，推动区域经济一体化，推动经济全球化朝着更加开放、包容、普惠、平衡、共赢的方向发展。女士们、先生们、朋友们，中国始终支持多边主义，践行多边主义，以开放合作、共赢精神同世界各国共谋发展。中国将继续同各成员一道支持亚投行，办好亚投行，为国际社会应对风险挑战、实现共同发展做出更大贡献。希望亚投行不负使命，不负时代，不负重托。最后，我衷心祝愿本届理事会年会圆满成功。谢谢大家。
Thank you, President Xi. China's support for the AIIB as an institution that operates to high standards with strong multilateral governance is deeply appreciated, as is your encouragement for our future growth and development. I now have the pleasure to introduce Mr. Jinli Chun, President of the AIIB, to address us.
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, distinguished governors and members of the Board of Directors, honored guests, partners, the development community at large, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to 2020 Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank annual meeting. It's a great honor and privilege to have this year's meeting opened by His Excellency President Xi, who 5 years ago set forth his vision for AIIB at our inaugural meeting of the Board of Governors. I'm proud that the bank has become an established member of the MDB family with broadly recognized success. I also thank you, Minister Liu Kun, and the Chinese government for the excellent arrangement for our annual meeting in Beijing. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to go virtual. We imposed the social distancing to contain the virus. But even though we are far apart, our international cooperation has brought us closer through joint efforts to protect the health and well-being of our people. Before being hit by COVID-19, productivity growth had already weakened substantially in emerging and developing economies. This pandemic has placed huge pressure on AIIB members, particularly lower-income countries and the most vulnerable. Incomes are down, debts are up, uncertainty remains. Unless effective measures are taken to reverse this trend, we will suffer the loss of a generation. We will not allow such a disaster to befall our people and future generations. As part of the coordinated international response to the pandemic, we swiftly pivoted our investment strategy and launched our COVID-19 Crisis Recovery Facility. To meet immediate demands, we have approved nearly $6 billion for public health and emergency budgetary support in 12 members. This brings AIIB's total investment portfolio since 2016 to nearly $20 billion. Our bank is a timely creation. We have unequivocally demonstrated our relevance, potency, and capacity to do what is required by AIIB members and their people. As a new MDB created to improve connectivity and economic integration among its members, AIIB will adhere to its approach to development through investment in infrastructure and other productive sectors. Once the crisis is behind us, we will go back to normal and continue our mainstream business. We will keep our eyes fixed on our long-term objectives. Over the past 4.5 years, we have laid a strong foundation for AIIB's growth in the future. We have injected new ideas that embed accountability and oversight into our governance. We have assembled a strong team of professionals who have built a robust project pipeline. Our close cooperation with other members of the MDB family has been greatly appreciated by our clients. Over recent decades, never has international cooperation been so crucial, and never has such cooperation proven so effective and so productive. AIIB has broad-based economic and social development as its fixture on our panoramic horizon. The world is changing rapidly. We provide support to cushion against economic shocks. We ensure growth is inclusive and sustainable. This will require all of our efforts. We do not have all the answers, but we are committed to doing our part. We are supporting climate change commitments. We are cooperating across regions. We are discovering new ways to increase connectivity and strengthen economies. We're striving to build a world that is financially, socially, environmentally, and economically sustainable. Our virtual annual meeting today will keep us closer and reinforce our conviction that we will prevail of any challenge or disaster of the worst description. Together, we will make the world better. Thank you.
Thank you, President Jin, and thank you for your inspiring leadership of this bank. I would now like to invite the Vice Chairman of the Board of Governors, the Governor for Myanmar and Union Minister for Planning and Finance, Yu So Win, to speak to us now.
Your Excellency President Xi, Mr. Chairman, President of AIIB, Mr. Jin Lee Chun, Honorable Governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to congregate here at this auspicious 5th annual meeting of AIIB with our colleagues from the member countries. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the chairman for granting me an opportunity to deliver this opening remark as a vice chair, together with my counterpart from Iceland. It is our pride and privilege to be standing here as one of the founding members of the institution, witnessing its genesis and growth over the past few years. The world has been lingering under the destructive shadows of COVID pandemic. I would urge our members to maintain our collective humanity and harmonize our national policy to reverse doldrums through the strength of unity. We appreciate the bank's proposal for the creation of new special fund window, SFW, reducing the financial burden of AIIB members. Under the mandate of AIIB, it is our collective responsibility to incubate novel ideas and implement innovative programs to design, build, and operate pandemic-proof infrastructure projects for nations across Asia and beyond. Mr. President, honorable governors and distinguished guests, sharing the fates and destinies of other nations, COVID has entered into Myanmar with a wave of disruption. To buffer against the impact of the pandemic, the government of Myanmar has formulated the COVID-19 Economic Relief Plan, CERP, on 27 April 2020, designed to meet the exigencies of the most affected sectors by giving tax credits, waivers, and exemptions to various industries and MSMEs. Our response strategy centers around a targeted concessionary lending program to support farmers, MSMEs, etc. By reprogramming our fiscal space and through the generosity of G20 debt relief program, we have mastered over $2 billion to finance all these programs under the CERP during this fiscal year. With an expected increase in public expenditure and implementation of CERP, the steep shortfall in public revenue, the government is now advising a careful fiscal and monetary strategy to manage the possibility of huge budget deficit. However, we are very fortunate to be supported by a whole contingent of development partners such as World Bank, IMF, AIIB, and JICA, and we are strongly encouraged and inspired by them. Mr. President, honorable governors, and distinguished guests, in conclusion, we stand ready to forge stronger and closer relationship with you all to fulfill the objectives of AIIB, and looking forward to harvesting fruitful outcomes from meaningful dialogues with the participants. I wish courage and resilience for all of us in overcoming adversity and restoring normalcy for all nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Governor Yu So-Win. I'm very pleased now to turn the floor to the Vice Chairman of the Board of Governors and Governor for Iceland, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. Bjarni Benediktsson.
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, President of the AIIB, Jin LeQuinn, Excellencies, distinguished guests. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the bank's response to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, including the organization of the bank's annual meeting during these trying circumstances. The response by AIIB and its staff has been impressive, aligned with the objectives of Iceland and our wider European constituency, and in line with the bank's priorities. This has been achieved by establishing proper funding facilities, focusing on regional members with able partners and suitable projects in scope and form. Unfortunately, the battle is not over, and the bank will need to ensure that the next phase of the COVID-19 response be as well aligned as the first one. We, the governors, the board, and management of the bank must ensure that the response will heavily align with climate change goals, including incorporating a strong message on climate change into the corporate strategy. By focusing the message on sustainable infrastructure, the bank will have a much greater opportunity to achieve a positive and lasting impact in the host countries. At the same time, the bank and its member countries should be committed to push for a broad consensus on how to engage with host countries about developing ambitious national determined contributions, the NDCs. We must also ensure that we maintain the focus on sustainability to deliver both economic and social benefit to us all. From the perspective of an island nation in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, we understand the importance of protecting the oceans from global climate change and pollution, including marine litter. Over the last decades, Iceland has been a pioneer in designing and implementing quota systems to ensure sustainable fisheries. The oceans are probably our most important natural infrastructure. The oceans cover around 70% of Earth's surface, contain over 97% of all water on Earth, and produce half of all of our oxygen, not to mention its food contribution and potential energy contribution. They also act as our planet's chief climate regulator. In fact, more than 90% of the warming on the Earth over the past 50 years has occurred in the ocean. The AIIB should consider developing expertise on funding and advice on projects that help restore or sustainably maintain the oceans and its vital resources for the benefit of the global population and economies, obviously with a focus on Asia. Sustainable development is at the center of Iceland's current chairmanship of the Arctic Council, where we aim to achieve a balance between environmental protection, economic development, and community development. During its chairmanship, Iceland will lead a project on the blue bioeconomy in the Arctic and explore opportunities to increase the value of marine products. Iceland will further highlight the importance of combating plastic pollution in the Arctic marine environment and the safety of seafarers. Finally, these trying times have colored the work of the bank, its staff, and affected its borrowers due to impact of COVID-19. I want to thank the board, management, and the staff for their good service during these trying times, and I wish them and their families good health going forward.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you for your good wishes. For our final speech, it's my great honor to invite the Chair of the Board of Governors and Finance Minister of China, Minister Liu Kun, to address us.
Respected Governor, respected Your Excellency President Xi Jinping, respected governors, heads of delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends. As Chair of the Board of Governors of the AIIB, on behalf of the Board of Governors, I'd like to welcome all of you to the virtual meeting of the 5th AIIB Annual Meeting. The AIIB is a new type of multilateral development institution established under the proposal of China's President Xi Jinping, with joint participation of all its members. Just now, President Xi fully affirmed the AIIB's achievements in the past 4 years, which was extremely inspiring. As Chair of the Board of Governors, I am pleased to see that the AIIB, under the leadership of President Jin Liqun, not only achieved rapid business development and strengthened its institutional capacity, but also registered notable governance progress. The AIIB made 18 business strategies and policies, and established the accountability framework and oversight mechanism, formulated the presidential election rules, completed the first performance review of the president, and established higher governance standards among MDBs. Since the beginning of this year, the AIIB has actively responded to challenges of COVID-19, while ensuring staff safety and banking business continuity. It has enhanced cooperation with other multilateral development institutions to quickly and effectively support epidemic control and economic recovery of members. This not only reflects the AIIB's mobility, resilience, and vitality, but also demonstrates its members' firm support to the bank. This year marks the 5th anniversary of the AIIB's establishment, and the AIIB will formulate the corporate strategy to guide its development in the next decade. Just now, President Xi Jinping placed great expectations on the AIIB's future development. As a new type of MDB in the 21st century, the AIIB should first uphold multilateralism, serve all its members with high standards, strengthen its country-specific orientations, improve clients' relationship, meet its members' diversified needs, and achieve common development. Second, it should pursue high-quality development of connectivity, stick to its purposes and missions, promote regional infrastructure development and economic integration, and facilitate regional and global economic bonds. Third, it should conduct high-level capacity-building development, foster the institutional culture of being lean, clean, and green, improve governance capability, and become a new type of MDB that promotes global common development. After the opening ceremony, we will elect the president and convene the Board of Governors meeting. I expect the AIIB Board of Governors to successfully elect the next president, and I look forward to fruitful discussions during the meeting. In the end, I wish this annual meeting a full success. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Liu, for bringing our opening ceremony to such a fitting conclusion. In closing, let me thank all of our speakers for their great contributions. Today and tomorrow, we have a full program of webinars with great speakers on the AIIB's major priority areas. You can find out more and register to attend at aiib.org. We hope to see you there. Thank you.